a synth workstation. There are things that analog synthesizers can do which this would not be able to do. There are a lot of other things that the digital synths and the synth workstations can do which analog synths cannot do by themselves. Synth is basically about giving you more options of editing sounds. Too many knobs. Some new arrangers do also give you some knobs, like Yamaha gives, Casio is giving out some knobs and faders in some arranger workstations. The main difference is you do not really have the auto accompaniment as you have over there. So for instance, this is the piano sound, the chord piano, that does not really have the drum tracks like this one has. So I can have a drum track just like over there. And I have something called an arpeggiator which I can program, right? So I can have an arpeggiator and that can work a bit like auto accompaniment, but it needs to be programmed really well so that it sounds a bit like the auto accompaniment on the arranger does. The benefit of that is it sometimes is helpful because you can have, let's say, the auto accompaniment arpeggiations from a preset of a salsa or a drum track of a jazz or metal if you'd like to, which you cannot do over there. This can allow me to have about 16, 32 or even more sounds simultaneously on one sound patch. So it may or may not have registration memory, like X50 had one function call, this does not. So let's just try. So this is the piano. There I increase the release. And Reborn, that was from my band Riverblades, and I have around 2 or 3 different sounds going, right? And then I have, after that, I have one main voice which sound, and I also have a heavy sound which is more heavier, and this that's many different splits and many different layers, and they can cross combine the way an arranger would not really allow you to. So with this one button now I can have the heavier sound on my bass, I can have the little softer with some effect sounds in between, and I can have more the other sounds over here and a piano bellist kind of sound here. So I've got so many different sounds going together. Whatever. So this may not be so easy to use for most of them. Obviously it takes time. This is not something I generally recommend for someone who's an absolute beginner. However, if you have been playing for some time, or if you do not really wish to give an examination where you are playing with the styles, accompaniments, and if you're playing with other musicians and you do not really need to depend on features like auto accompaniments, then synths are better. Then digital synths or synthesizer workstations are better. It also obviously helps me to play as an accompanist, because I have the tones that would be present on arranger too. Like this is a piano. I could have some other sounds, like I can have brass section, right? And like, right, so I could do a one-man thing. Do not have auto accompaniment the way it's there in arranger keyboards, which is why this is not really a good option if you're thinking of giving an examination like electronic keyboards. However, it is helpful if you're giving an exam like the rock and pop keyboards, because rock and pop would not require you to use inbuilt accompaniments. Your accompaniment is going to be on a backing track, maybe a CD or some other music system which is playing while you play over it. So whatever you are doing is just all the sounds on the keyboard, and you're not really using the start-stop feature as you would do on an arranger for the electronic keyboard exams. So rock and pop is something you could do. You could use this for. You could use obviously this for live jamming for any kind of genres, depending on what kind of sounds you require, whether the instrument has those sounds or not.